How's everyone doing? I know, location's changed. I'm on bed rest. I had a pain in my side for like 2 weeks. It became unbearable. I went to the emergency room, waited there for like 6 hours, finally got saw by someone, and they said I had kidney stones in both kidneys. And that's probably why it hurt so much. So I went in for emergency surgery that night, and they lasered out both sides. They scooped it with baskets, and now I'm in bed rest. So I hope you don't mind. You're joining me in the bedroom while I'm on bed rest to watch CashualChuck and maybe make this productive at least, and I can finally check out the great SB19 Docu Series I keep hearing so much about. I want to learn more about these guys. They are simply a bunch of artists that are surrounded with the veneer of a boy band. Like, thinking they're a boy band is your first mistake, is what I learned. They're just not. Here we go.
When you hear the words pop music and the best boy band, who comes to mind?
Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. I know I'm dating myself. I'm sure BTS. Is that BTS? I thought they were a girl group until like last week.
What if I told you that the most overlooked boy group in our generation might be these guys?
Look at how young they are. Oh my god. Oh, I love that they've been working
Last
so
6
hard.
years, these guys turned a small Korean entertainment company into a company that produced the greatest P-pop group ever.
Are you proud of SB19?
You guys have put that name that I should check him out. I'm pretty sure. Is that guy a singer too?
And you don't accomplish that without making a few enemies.
Oh yeah, yeah,
K-pop.
yeah.
Lima pala sila.
K-papangit.
Some of them coming from unexpected places.
Yun yung iba daw. Parang may ginaya.
Oh, they're mocking him for
Behind the
ripping off
group are
K-pop.
5 driven men who were about to transform what was once a laughingstock genre in music
That's fair.
into the fastest growing genre of the world.
Ever since
Also
we
fair.
had this goal, and not just for us, but for the entire industry.
Feeling ko hindi pa natin nakukuha yung recognition na dapat para sa atin.
Between disbanding before they even debuted,
All hope is lost parang nung time na yun.
Oh, I've heard
becoming
this story before.
industry outcasts and getting bashed.
Linkin Park sat in front of like 30 different showcases. That's like when you're out in California, you'll get A&R guys at the record label that will actually like pick new bands to try to sign for different record labels. And you'll have a showcase, so all the A&Rs show up. They did it like 30 times. I mean, Linkin Park is the they have a Rolling Stone article you can read. It's like 10 pages. It's fantastic. But like, they just kept bumping up against it. And honestly, they only had Mike Shinoda at the time. For the most part, they were just doing that rap version of it, and then they got Chester Bennington added the singing, and they were the #1 record that next year.
Their own countrymen.
Sana magkaroon tayo ng grupo na no, hindi naman mangkataasan ng tangos ng ilong. Para talagang, original.
Oo.
The rise of SB19 may not be the greatest Filipino success story ever,
Maganda kasi yung revenge kasi talaga yung success na ipapakita mo sa mga hindi naniniwala.
Tama yan.
but it certainly is the most inspiring one.
Oh, hell yeah. This is... Who is CashualChuck? How is this made so well by just an amateur dude? He went to film school? Did you go to film school, CashualChuck? Because this is really good. I suck at editing. This is so much more than just good editing. Like, you've done this before, man. There's no way. I want to learn about CashualChuck next, please. Who is this guy? 2020. 6 years ago for me. As this recording.
This is called Triple, a group of talented performers and comedians from Korea you've probably never heard of. They were formed back in 1994 when the word K-pop hasn't even been invented. In 2002, one of the members made the biggest mistake of his life, which will change the entire course of P-pop history.
Okay. Who's this guy?
That member was Jong Song Han. It all started when he left the trio in 2002 to become an entrepreneur. Cult Triple became Cult 2. Most of their fans thought that Songhan's decision was a huge mistake because they were
I did the same thing on a much smaller level. I was in this pop punk band, and we just released a record. We won an award in our local city. Everything was going great. We're on a good label. I had like a really famous guitar player from hardcore in our band, and everything was going well. And I was like, I think I'm just going to focus on the web hosting business that I started. I was web hosting all the record labels in different bands around the States, and it was going well. And I was like, being in a band, guys, is exhausting. It's having 4 girlfriends, bare minimum, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And even on my little scale, it was a lot. And I actually left to do the same thing. I said, I think this will make me happier to do this, and let's stick on this. Sorry, like you guys can. Yeah, Jay, tell us more about your crappy band no one's heard of. I digress.
Remaining members started racking up different awards in the entertainment industry. If he only stuck around, he would have gotten those awards too. But this man's decision was final. He used all of his savings to build an event organizing company called ShowBT Entertainment. Today we know him as Tatang Robin.
Tatang Robin.
Fast forward to 2015. The fight of the century just happened. One Direction's Drag Me Down was
that's the one I was thinking about. One
Big
Direction
Bang was the biggest K-pop boy group.
Never heard of them.
P-pop has top one project. Chances are you have never heard of them. But somewhere in Makati, Philippines, an audition was held. Tatang Robin was looking for young talents who would be part of the package of their service as an event organizers. Talents who can perform on their own but can also serve as backup dancers and singers to their main performers.
Oh, that's a clever way to do it.
One of the main attractions of the said audition was if you're good enough, you might just debut as a member of ShowBT's first
It's a clever way to do it. I like this dude.
Undergo a Korean-style training. Filipinos don't get opportunities like that so often, so hundreds of talents applied, but only 30 made it as trainees.
Can I predict the future of these 30 trainees being treated like slave labor, not getting the opportunities they're supposed to get? Because these types of things are like that. I mean, you're not getting exploited, but you're kind of getting exploited. This is just my guess. Let's go with the hypothesis and see where it lands.
They were initially called the ShowBT Musical Gala Team, but then later dubbed as Nara, which in Korean means country, and also happens to be the national tree of the Philippines.
Oh, very cool.
If you're a fan who is deep into the P-pop scene, you would recognize some of the future P-pop stars, but one of the most notable ones is this guy.
Hey, Pablo.
On the first day of training, one guy stood out because he was just alone standing awkwardly in the corner.
Nung una, ang weird niya kung nagsasalita mag-isa.
He was facing the wall and making hand gestures as if he was rapping in front of it.
Nakatayo siya sa
He's
gilid.
8 mile.
Sabi ko, anong ginagawa na? Nagre-ritual ba sa gilid?
That guy was John Pablo Nasing. He always wanted to be a performer. As a young dreamer, he joined several competitions as a soloist and also as a member of the...
Guys, it's so hard not to mention how good this documentary is. Like, this is so well done. But just the graphics and how they're introduced with the music, I mean, it's this person put in so much work to make this so very good. Wow, I hope he's met these guys and they thanked him, because this is amazing.
The K-pop dance cover group called PHP. In training,
that's the programming language that I used throughout my whole career. That's kind of funny. Anybody else use PHP? Just me?
he was the guy who shows up early and leaves late despite juggling a full-time job as a data
I knew he was a nerd.
provide for his family.
That's my people.
He
I knew
was
Pablo was my
selected due
people.
to his undeniable diligence and leadership qualities. He is known to have critically acclaimed songwriting ability. Some of my sources even said that he had already written dozens of songs
that's
at
cool.
this
Good for him.
time. He's also a badass rapper and was often called a genius, but consistently denied it because he claimed to be just a hard worker.
Yeah, lots of high IQ people hide behind hard worker title. I don't think they realize that they've been gifted with something. They think it's just hard work, but they've been given a little more as well. And I think Pablo's been given a little more.
This made him the destined leader of the group. He was known as Sejin at the time, but later would be known as Pablo.
Pablo. So Spanish. Pablo.
30 trainees are a lot of trainees. It would take a very observant person with an eye for talent to notice Pablo in that corner. So who was that observant person with an eye for talent? Well, he was also a trainee. Stell Ajero.
Oh, that's Stell? That's the Michael Jackson.
He was only a kid when he started competed as a performer. As a dancer, he racked up win after win on a national level with his school crew and
Wow.
became their official choreographer, teaching crewmates 2 to 3 years older than him. He later joined
He's so
a dance
young.
crew called Seyon and went on to win international titles.
Holy
Stell
crap, kid.
obviously worked so hard. Amidst his studies and competitions, he also worked part-time.
Yeah, that can't possibly pay, right? Being good at dancing. Like, even backup dancers make nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, that must pay absolutely nothing. You got to do it for the love of it. He obviously loved it. Like, he killed it. That's so cool, so young.
Time as a McDonald's service crew and teaching dance to kids with special needs. There was a point that he worked too hard that he wound up in the hospital. His poor health caused him to lose his earnings and nearly his life.
Jesus, man.
Fortunately, he was able to recover. This made him the obvious choice to become the choreographer of the
I
group.
love this.
But little did they know that dancing wasn't his only talent. As a kid, he joined the school choir to become the only male
Axl Rose has that same claim to fame. When I was coming up, they talked about him singing in the choir. It made me want to sing at my church.
soprano and only improved as he gotten older. He easily became the main heavenly voice of the group because his vocals were just
so high.
out of this world. Unlike Pablo, Stell was very friendly to everyone. In fact, one of his close
Hey, quick questions for the Philippines. Would you accept these dudes if one of them turned out to be LGBTQ plus or whatever we're doing now? Like, is Philippines okay with that? Or would this, like, would it crater that person's career? Like, where are we at with gay rights in the Philippines? Not to get political, just trying to understand the culture. There's no good or bad answer, just trying to understand where we're at.
very out of this world. Unlike Pablo, Stell was very friendly to everyone. In fact, one of his closest friends also auditioned and made it.
Oh, that's the best. Starting a day with your
This
friends
friend
is
is
cool.
nothing to be trifled with because having the worst upbringing among the others made him the strongest when it comes down to pure guts and
It's
determination.
gonna be Ken, right?
Josh Cullen Santos.
Is that Ken Fu? That was my guess.
He left home at the age of 16 and it was his decision.
I'm bad at
From
facial
growing up in
recognition.
a
Which
toxic
one is this?
environment to being physically abused as a kid by their nanny. I'm talking about getting poured candle wax
Well,
all
that's
over their
a
body.
different level of abuse.
At an
That's
early age,
sick.
he experienced what it felt like to be a member of a middle-class family that went rock bottom in just a matter of months.
Oh, yeah.
They got evicted from medium-sized apartments to increasingly smaller rooms. It came to a point when his family had nothing to eat with rice but ketchup and salt.
That's not okay.
They had no permanent address. Because of that, Josh and his sister dropped out of school multiple times, so they got bullied at school for being repeaters.
Aw.
Sometimes he would even get into fist fights for defending her.
Yeah.
Josh had enough of this, so he decided to leave to become independent and started working as an internet cafe attendant. Using his own income, he took the alternative learning system to attain his high school degree.
Oh, that's like you guys'
He
GED.
initially had
Okay.
no background in performing.
Good.
Not until he found Stell performing with his dance group called Seyon. Josh became an instant fan, and when they connected, Stell became his mentor, which led to them becoming co-members, and they went
That
on to
hits
win
me
numerous
so
K-pop
hard in the
dance cover
feels.
competitions all over Asia. They even met BTS during one of their winning runs in Korea. So from champions to trainees, what else is in store for them? From then on, their lives became all about performing in small events and training.
We had one mentor when we were training. Tapos, more on personality development siya. Tapos, presenting ourselves on stage.
We had no idea that the Korean-style training they went through
It's far, far from what they've been doing sa Korea.
was nothing but a mere marketing
I
strategy.
saw this
But
coming.
yung skill-wise, parang ganun. We were left on our own.
They were left alone to fend for themselves, sharing knowledge to improve each other with the hope of making the cut. Some sources told me that Pablo had to record some of their vocal sessions to effectively coach his co-trainees. All of that without salary. This went on for roughly a couple of years.
Could have called this.
I don't know about you guys, but this for me,
Don't ever let your
sounded
kid get
kinda
exploited.
brutal. It's not easy to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again without any form of guidance. They were also kept in the dark about their debut date.
Yeah, being
So
strung along
frustration
is
started
not
brewing until it reached the point when it only took one trigger to call it quits. On one seemingly normal training day, all trainees were already in the studio, except for Josh. On the same morning, the train broke down.
Josh, this is the
MRT
kid.
looking at that.
This is the kid that had the hard life, and the sister, and was the attendant, right? Like they're gonna mess with this kid. I'm gonna lose it.
Nasira yung MRT. So,
Sinuspindi ang operasyon ng MRT dahil sa power outage.
It wasn't really an accident, but this would still worry anyone, especially the trainees, because it's highly unusual for Josh to miss training. Later that morning, Josh arrived. His co-trainees felt relieved because Josh turned out to be safe. You would think that their company would react the same way,
I
right?
can see this coming.
Wrong. They decided to terminate his training.
na-late ako, tapos tinanggal ako.
That was the trigger.
Doon tinanggal po ako, nag-quit din yung mga
Good.
grupo ko. Nag-quit din sila kasi parang naging trigger na point na
Yeah, I like
kung
these
tatanggalin mo
guys.
si Josh,
Umalis kami sa grupo.
ganun mo lang kadali itapon yung lahat ng efforts and
The train had a
passion,
problem.
dreams
You're gonna
natin.
blame
ShowBT had
infrastructure
two
on Josh.
choices: to keep all trainees or to keep no trainees.
What'd they choose?
The company chose the latter. Everyone left except for Stell.
Parang si Stell lang yung naiwan po nun talaga sa training room.
I probably would have been very personally mad at Stell, to be honest. I'd want everyone to quit for the kid, but let's move on.
Tapos talagang down na down lahat.
Si Stell natira kasi doon during that time.
Stell set aside all his frustration and remained focused on his goal.
You gotta respect
While
that too.
Pablo was devastated.
All hope is lost. Parang nung
So
time
much
na yun.
work these
In
kids
Josh's
put in.
case, we can only imagine the pain he must have felt to have been booted out of his dreams.
That's nuts.
Days passed, everyone still feeling down about that incident. Then Pablo's phone receives a message.
Brother, bumalik ka na, brother.
It was Josh. Out of all the trainees, the guy that got sent packing was the same guy who actively convinced everyone to continue chasing their dreams. Perhaps this was the sheer guts and determination from his life experiences in full display. Pablo hurried back to the studio to find Stell alone. But not for long. Josh came back next and took the initiative to
This is
convince
so
the company to have them back.
inspirational.
Pumunta lang po ako doon at syempre kung kinakailangan
And the
na
music's so well done.
mag-usap.
So back to
CashualChuck.
training, they went.
Hindi na lang magkahiwalay yung grupo, pero bumalik sila kasi
Someone hire Chuck at a TV studio, please.
There was only 3 of them for a while. Then a few other trainees started coming back. So ShowBT put together a talent workshop to get more talents to keep the business going. This was batch 1. This was batch 2.
Do you guys dig the giant groups? I don't dig them at all. Like I saw this year Coachella just happened, or maybe it's still happening. But one of the groups was a big Korean group. And it was like 13 people. I had no interest in seeing 13 people on stage trying to make music. It just seemed like 4 musicians and everyone else danced around in scantily clad outfits. I don't know. I'm probably just being dismissive, but big bands, unless they're all doing something different, I don't need a band with 13 singers. Unless they're going to do like, what are those? Like the Pentatonics, you know, like the a cappella group where you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. There's still only like 5 of them.
Justin de Dios.
Alright, I definitely don't know
He got
anything about
scolded
Justin.
right away because he was a very good-looking guy and already was a decent singer
Well,
and
yeah,
dancer.
that helps.
When he joined, he immediately saw a familiar face in Josh.
You look familiar. As do you.
Apparently, Josh told Justin about the workshop because the two already had a stint performing together in a
okay.
dance cover
Smart.
group called Zero to Hero. So Justin as well.
What a lot of people don't realize when you're doing bands and stuff, some of your favorite bands are just amalgamations of all these other failed projects. Like, to go anywhere in any sort of fun industry, you have to fail over and over and over. And everyone will look back at this stuff and say it was a waste if they didn't make it, but this is exactly what it takes. You join this dance group and that thing fails, it falls apart. You join this band, that thing fails, it falls apart. This guy had a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. But then you hook up, oh yeah, and then you grab the bassist from here, and now you're in some super group that everyone loves. You know, Killswitch Engage is a great example of that if you're talking metal. Those guys are all from local hardcore bands from Massachusetts. Like, failed projects, right? But like, you just end up, everyone, all the good, not the good, but the cream of the crop rise to the top, right? Never eat the pig because a pig is a cup. Anybody? House of Pain?
Was it
I'm the cream of the crop. I rise to the top. I never eat a pig because a pig is a cup.
new in
But this is what it takes. And then you end up, you kind of grab all the good pieces from all the places you've been, from all the scenes you're in, and then you end up with like a real core group of people working at the same hard. I'll stop preaching. I love it. Like, people need to realize this is what it takes. You don't get discovered in the mall and make $1 million. That's not a real thing. It's a 0.001% thing.
You look familiar. As do you.
Apparently, Josh told Justin about the workshop because the two already had a stint performing together in a dance cover group called Zero to Hero. So Justin as well.
Like, if you ever want to watch the Western version of it, there was an MTV show called Driven, and watch Britney Spears Driven. Her entire life was this. Like, that's all she did. She worked harder than any little kid I've ever seen.
Wasn't new in the world of performing. He auditioned to be a part of the televised Pinoy boy band Superstar, but he didn't even make it to the live auditions.
I love that.
It was fate. That group is nowhere to be found today.
Exactly.
Justin obviously deserved better. He went on to finish his college degree in multimedia arts while training, which earned him a filmmaking skill that would prove very crucial to their success in the future.
Oh, right, you guys told me he did a bunch of the videos. I love that about
With Justin
them,
on
because the
board,
videos are cool.
this
They're
completed their prototype boy group. It's composed of Justin, Pablo, Stell, Josh, Zeno, Kurt, and JP.
Too many people.
They did multiple test runs leading up to their entry to Pinoy K-Pop Star 2017.
I don't get the
They
cruise.
performed B-Day by Icon in an epic fashion, but they didn't win. At this point, ShowBT seemed to have hit a roadblock. The group felt like something was missing. I don't exactly know what happened to Zeno, Kurt, and JP. They either quit or ShowBT felt the need to let go of them and get someone who could take this already great group of guys and push them to achieve the next level. The extraordinary level. This years in the making project of ShowBT needed to reach its peak. So they started the online auditions. When Josh heard about it, he was like, I know a guy.
Is this when we get filmed?
The guy he was talking about was a pain in his butt because their groups have clashed multiple times in their early dance competitions and their battles were always
One of these days I'm
neck
going
and
to
neck.
know all their damn names.
That guy's name
Yeah, I got this one right.
was Philip John Suson.
Oh, you guys say fella. We say
He
Philip.
was such a specimen.
He really
He was
is.
so naturally gifted that excelling in sports looked like a walk in the park.
He looks like an athlete. I think he's the broad-shouldered
He
kid
lived
in the
church
videos.
Under the care of his grandparents.
Like the athletic-looking
He
one.
was an artistic kid, so he was active as an editorial cartoonist in school.
Nice.
Nobody taught him how to play musical instruments. He taught himself by just listening to the music, so he ended up becoming a southpaw guitarist.
That's
He later then
wild.
fixed it as he learned more. He was also a gifted singer as a kid.
He started out playing the guitar the wrong way and then learned the right way. That is sick. That's really cool. Good on him. That is wild. He learned it upside down.
Later then fixed it as he learned more. He was also a gifted singer as a kid. Every time there was a family gathering, he was always forced to sing karaoke by his
Wow,
relatives.
that's when you know
But
you're
when
good.
he hit puberty, he lost confidence in his voice because he could no longer hit high notes. But his confidence came back after being mentored by Pablo, who taught him how to harness his unique low voice that seemingly sounds like it came from the under.
His low voice is very welcome to this sound. Like, it's necessary.
The world. When it comes to dance, he didn't know he could do it until he was forced to in order to get good grades during their school intramurals. After
just
discovering
a different
dance,
form of
he
athletics.
transformed from a guy who didn't know it to
It's like
someone
martial
who
arts,
can fly.
gymnastics, all the shit's the
Because of
same.
his raw talent, he ended up teaching dance to the entire school and continued on to join the dance group called Amigo 7, a
Sick.
would-be rival of Josh and Stell's crew, Seyon.
You don't realize how dancing,
Quickly
how hard
became
it is
a
until you
reverse
see
if
5
you
people that
can't
suck
beat
at
them,
it.
then join them kind of deal. So Josh recruited Ken.
This is how
but
it
there
happens.
was a problem.
Get all the
He
good
was
people from
hundreds
all the
of
different
islands
places you know.
away and didn't have the money.
Convenience
What
is
did Josh
also a
do?
part of
He
what
shelled
kills
out
bands.
for his plane ticket. With nothing else to lose, Philippine
Like Killswitch Engage, the singer Howard Jones was a good buddy of ours, and he came from Ohio. The whole band moved from, this is just hardcore kids, like we were young 20s, and they moved from Ohio to move to Connecticut, and they all landscaped during the day for their guitarist who had a little company that did it, and then they moved to Connecticut just to be near Hatebreed and the hardcore scene in New England, because there wasn't a real big scene in Ohio. And then they were in Driven, then Veiled, and then that broke up at the same time. We were in the studio with the guitar player from Killswitch, mentioned that Howard was out of that band. That's how Howard got in Killswitch. Like, it's a very small world, and people remember who's good to them. They remember who works hard. They remember who's smart. They remember who ditched that. They remember who screwed over that person. Like, no matter what niche or scene you're in, it's very small when it comes down to it. So it's cool that they're, like, finding people from their competitors, It's awesome. It's awesome.
went and left his previous life in the countryside. He then trained with the boys and officially debuted with them as Ken.
Go
the
Ken.
dancer, the bass vocalist,
Yeah.
lead rapper of the group.
Sick.
One thing to note is that they were an unlikely bunch because they wouldn't have met each other if Tatang Robin stayed with his already successful group in Korea. Justin didn't make it in his first audition, so he almost didn't try again until Josh told him to do so. And Ken wouldn't even have the opportunity to join if the ShowBT trainees didn't come back after that quitting incident. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the butterfly effect.
It's true.
When
That's
a small
life,
and
guys.
seemingly insignificant occurrence has a rippling effect through
Opportunities
time,
flow by
leading
you
to a
all the time.
consequential event sometime long after the initial event. Or as Google would put it, the phenomenon whereby a minute localized change in a complex system can have large effects elsewhere. Tatang Robin's so-called mistake back in 2002 led to forming the future P-Pop Kings. In 2018, SB19 was formed. The name of the group sometime long after the initial event, or as Google would put it, the phenomenon whereby a minute localized change in a complex system can have large effects elsewhere. Tatang Robin's so-called mistake back in 2002 led to forming the future P-Pop Kings. In 2018, SB19 was formed. The name of the group was carefully picked.
8 years now.
The number 19 is the sum of Korea and the Philippines country code digits, 82 and 63. So 8 plus 2 plus 6 plus 3 is 19. If you subtract both numbers, you also get the same result. SB doesn't only mean ShowBT. It is also about their ultimate goal for Pinoy sound to break into the music industry, which is fearlessly
That's a weird
represented
name.
by this phrase,
Or a weird
Soundbreak.
origin story for a name. Researcher, copy editor, Mark Quicksilver. Nice job, Mark. CashualChuck. This is stupid good. I wonder how long it took him to make this. The whole series must have taken forever. Alright, thanks for joining me on my journey. I'm going to check out the rest of this series and try to release one of these a week and learn more about SB19. I'll also release an SB19 musical reaction each week as well. Hopefully we'll be out of the bed soon. Thanks for coming by. Oh, if you made it this far, hit thumbs up so the algorithm helps it out and stuff. Thank you.